It is Jason Abraham, the Shadow Teacher, and I've mentioned this in other videos, but my debut on video format and the way people know me now, my original vision was a parody of the fake gurus that are so abundant on YouTube, those selling you a life a life of freedom and joy and adulation, being able to do what you want, when you want, whenever you want, and only have to put in 4 hours a week of work. Again, this is not about the 4 hour work week. Actually, there's some great ideas in that book by Tim Ferriss. And I'll get around to the truth of the goal that's actually shared in that book. It's more about the perversions and inversion of the title that I'm speaking of the fake gurus who say you can get this lifetime of maximal results by putting in minimal effort. And then you also have the other side of that. You have the gurus on YouTube that push crush it every day, go, 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 constantly grind it, grind it, grind it, grind it out. And this is yet another story to manipulate consciousness or someone who is seeking to be something they are not, something that their current expression of reality desires and is seeking through the energy that they're seeing this charismatic, famous guru who everyone seems to love, that is pushing, grinding and going, grinding and going. And again, there is definitely something to hard work and crushing it. But what is used again, and again, this is not a knock on Gary Vee, who I actually like. This is a knock on derivatives of that, of people, because this is a guy who simply went out there. That is his story. This is a guy who is a hard worker and is just sharing what worked for him. What I'm what I'm going to get to in this video is how dark forces manipulate this combination in this human psyche, this positive desire to be better, to be the fullest expression of their potential. That's a positive thing. And this very negative desire to do as little as possible or simply be known for like having your cult of personality be worshipped again. So these negative drives of wanting to get something for nothing, and then the other side of that, have your cult of personality be worshipped, becoming a false idol yourself. And this type of marketing that you see on YouTube from both ends of that, the 4 hour work week do nothing model, and then the crush it every day model. So I'm going to talk about, again, there's a sacred structure that is in everything, and that structure is the pyramid, this sacred structure on our planet. And the pyramid, again, it's in this instance, this aspect of the pyramid symbolizes a hierarchy. So the foundation, what is at the top, the pinnacle of the pyramid, it rests over the foundation of what is at the bottom. And this is essentially how these marketing ideas work. And whoever is at the top is making money off of anyone who they're feeding off of whatever is underneath them. And this is how the system of the globalist controllers, the reptilians, whatever you want to call them, that's how their systems work. There's a tiny bit up top, and they set up the world so that my life, your life, everything we do, everything we engage in feeds that system. And they put out this perception to us that we are believing that we're going to make it eventually up to that top of the pyramid, but they leave out crucial bits of information that keep us spinning in circles and never quite get there unless we open up to other faculties, unless we open up to other resources that show up in our lives that are outside of the formulas they give us. And again, this is why it is possible to go up. You're not stuck here, but you have to, usually if you're just following a formula that you've been sold by society or from one of these fake gurus, then you don't rise. And sometimes that can show up in the relationship of information that comes out of nowhere, that just something in your higher self recognizes and integrates. And then sometimes it shows up in a mentor and an angel in human form that shows up, that you build that relationship, that believes in you and is at a place that you want to get to. And you meet that mutual relationship where you are in service to them, and then they also, in return, they impart the keys to their kingdom, their wisdom, to you and their relationships. And that's how things actually work for people who move up there, both in a light sense and also in the dark sense. So in the dark sense, we have the stories of again, when people become compromised, like the stories of Epstein's Island is a good example of the dark side, where when people have relationships with those in powerful positions, and to pass to the other level up, you have to be put in compromised positions, using child trafficking and pedophilia and other dark stuff to own that person. But the light, it's simply an exchange. It is you are offering your full presence with a mentor, and offering yourself as a student, fully learning from them, but also helping them when they need your help. And then the mentor imparts the wisdom to you and the connections from their sphere. But again, what we get on the internet, we're sold these two ideas. If you just, so the minimalist idea, just you take on this contrived formula of behaviors and ideas, and once you do these in your life, then all is good. Then you're going to have the keys and be able to go to these places. And it never works that way, as many people keep buying courses over and over again because the first one didn't work. Now, again, there's some truth in, you can buy a course. And again, I buy courses too all the time. If there's a course that I think is valuable, I will buy it. But the perspective that I have is that this is going to implement some new ideas for me, and it's going to take me some time to put these ideas into practice. And through the eventual practice of this idea, I'm changing who I am. The nature of my character is going to change, which is going to increase or alter the probability of me creating something desirable, of shifting my place in this world to something else. So that's how a good course works, but it is not a magic formula that provides instant manifestation, as the marketing of a fake guru will have you believe. And again, much of their courses are very generic. They have usually decent ideas in them that they've stolen from someone else, and then they go and they market them as it's a magic formula. Again, the difference, like the book that they're stealing from, the 4-Hour Work Week, has some very good ideas in how to go about achieving your dreams. And it actually talks in detail of how this works. And it's actually a very good book, and just talks about a different way of looking at the world, which is now it's been read so many times, and it's more commonplace for people. But at the time it came out, it was new information, a new way of using this thing called the internet that was blowing up at the time. So the other approach of of crushing it every day, there is truth in that. no matter what you want to do, you're going to have to put in intense work. You are going to have to put in dedicated work and effort to achieving a dream or a life of creating anything of value. But what happens for, again, what this is the old school model. This kind of comes like, again, the base of the pyramid of working hard for someone else, or working hard and grinding out all these hours, but being very ineffective with your energy for what you're actually trying to create. That's what I see a lot of. That's what I've done myself, is I've worked hard, but have not, times when I've been in the grind, not all the time that work was effective use of my energy and time, and it did not yield by default the result I wanted. Again, if that formula were true, if all you had to do was put the hours in and just work hard for the sake of working hard, then you'd have more people achieving the dreams they want. But the common theme of both, what's missing, what I find, is the effective use of your time and energy. Producing anything of value is going to require you to learn how to do the right things and to prioritize the right things that require your time and energy, and put your time, the stuff that you physically need to do, the stuff that requires your presence and your thought and your energy, that becomes the highest thing you put, and prioritize those activities over other things that potentially you could pay someone else to do. Again, that's an idea from the 4-hour work week, but it's not necessarily doing work all the time or doing work none of the time. It's understanding when you work the best, maximizing the time and energy, when to be active, and then also knowing when you need to back off, not pushing yourself when you need to rest, or pushing yourself when you're in the wrong state to do the thing. So this idea of self-observation and self-awareness is important for anyone who's wanting to build a life they want, knowing when they work, how they work the best, and then when they need to back off. And this is going to be an ever-changing formula, because as you expand in this process, you're going to find you'll expand and contract at different times, and that is what you have to honor. So again, what I've found is the truth is those who use their energy effectively and those who know themselves are the ones who are actually able to make meaningful changes. But the desire for meaningful change, if you are not able to use the wisdom and the right actions and the right tools and the discipline, you do need to be disciplined. You have to have the discipline of someone who's grinding it out, but use that discipline effectively. That is the key to a meaningful life. And again, a meaningful life may not be being a millionaire or a billionaire. It may be simply, it can look different for everyone. That's much of the desire to own everything is a dream that's put on us by the controllers, because that's their dream. They want to own everything. And again, we do have freedom. Like right now, we associate having greater capital with greater freedom, but that is only part of the equation. It does matter, absolutely. Like being responsible with your currency, your flow of money, the flow of energy, and not being depleted on current is going to affect your freedom, but it's really about the effective flow of that. And the price, again, what I've found of these people who have these pyramids, but eventually when the people in the bottom of the pyramid, they start to smarten up, then the pyramids a lot of times can crumble, because they say, I'm just making this asshole rich and I'm fucking done. So there's always karma. So if there's not a value exchange between the one at the top and the one who is being initiated, there's not a value exchange. If it's just harnessing, there's going to be a consequence. It could be karma for that harnessing. So I talked about a lot in this video about energy exchanges, about intention, essentially it was a video on manifestation, but I didn't start it out that way. About manifestation and sorcery. About the marketing is essentially sorcery, but that's the energy behind what a lot of this stuff is. So I hope you got something useful out of this. And be strong, be well, and I will see you on the other side.